Hi there Aquarius, thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for July. The month begins with the Sun in the part of your scope to do with practicalities, yet three other planets are urging you to break out and have fun. Not least, Mercury and Venus are in your sister air sign of Gemini and bring a rather playful tone to bear. So even if you are trying to make progress in terms of work or health, fitness, life organisational issues, these two are asking you to be more enterprising, creative, and come up with ways that make the whole process that much more enjoyable. But seriously, the Sun actually does also oppose Pluto in week 1, suggesting that something from your past, a legacy of past attitudes, health issues, may need to be looked at early in the month. But once you do, it will be a relief if everything is out in the open. But nervous energy can be quite to the fore in week 2, from the 5th to the 11th to be precise, as the Sun clashes with your co-ruler of Uranus. This asks you to not try to do too much, to not rush around to the point that you're really leaving yourself feeling quite dizzy. But Venus broadly forges a wonderful influence with Mars, and of course these two are the planets of love and affection through to the middle of the month. And if there is someone you really like, Mars is kind of asking you to be much more responsible for taking that first step. And if you are someone who's rather cautious about showing your true feelings, this may not necessarily be a good, an easy thing to do. But what you can do is create a situation which is perhaps involving other people, it is fun, and then let things happen more naturally, rather than a one-on-one proposal, which may prove to be rather more daunting. The 13th sees a full moon, and I just would be mindful that there could be someone you work with who may not be quite as straightforward and honest in their approach as you are. This is going to be reinforced when Mercury moves on the 13th too, but Mercury's asking you to get very much on the ball when it comes to the precision of things. So if you have been having a bit of a fun time of it in the first half of the month, from the middle of the month, you will need to be much more mindful of those details, even if they seem a little dull and boring. But on the 16th, the most sensational event of the whole month occurs for you when Jupiter, the planet of fortune, moves into your opposite sign, the sector of relationships and partnerships, for a 12-month occupation. Now, it's not been here for 12 long years, so this is an opportunity to really bring a real dazzle and charm to your relating sector over the next 12 months. It could also bring someone incredibly important into your world, especially as once the Sun moves on the 22nd into Leo, your opposite sign, there is a new moon in your sector of relationships on the 25th, and then the Sun combines with Jupiter as this month comes to a close. Some kind of lucky meeting could prove to be highly significant. This may be personal, it may be from a professional viewpoint. It just depends on what you're looking for in your life. On the 20th, Saturn, your co-ruler, also starts to go forwards after a long backward drag in your sector of work and responsibilities. And if obligations have been weighing you down over the previous 5.5 months, it really wouldn't be a surprise, particularly as Mars has been pushing you to break free from anything which is rather onerous, heavy and limiting. But Mars does clash with the Sun from the 11th through to the 22nd, and then it continues to clash with the Sun, but just in a different way once it moves on the 26th into Scorpio. But for you, I actually think Mars moving into this sector can be a good thing. It can give you more drive and more desire for recognition in a professional context as the month closes down. But that clash with the Sun earlier in the month is basically saying to you, continue your policy of being selective about the obligations you will take on, because if you don't, you really could end up getting frazzled, and that's not what you want at a time when you can start to be much more productive from a romantic viewpoint. But practicalities do continue to knock when Venus moves on the 18th into the 6th solar house too. This kind of asks us to be realistic about our relationships, but it does go face to face with Pluto in the last week of this month. just watch out for someone's psychological approach to some kind of temptation they put in your way as July comes to an end, because there could be a catch, but it may not be a particularly obvious one. But your asset as being the Zodiac's armchair psychologist will hopefully see you spotting this before you get embroiled in something which could have some nasty side effects. But if things are clean, straightforward, you're cooperating with people that give you a hearty sense of yourself and yet are fun to be with, and as a whole coming together with them makes more sense. As this month comes to a close, your natural tendency towards isolation and detachment can melt away and see you entering into a new exciting phase of cooperation, tenderness, or even, if you're truly lucky, of true love. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.